When you think about players that just about everyone despised in college basketball history, the most famous is probably Duke's Christian Laettner, but the devil of this century of college basketball is none other than Duke's Grayson Allen. But should that really be the case? Known as the Tripper, Allen was a star player for the Duke Blue Devils after he emerged in their 2015 national title run, more specifically in the title game against Wisconsin. He went on to become a really good player for them, but it was not without controversy. He graduated and made the NBA, but what is he up to now, and why is he one of the most hated players in college basketball history? Today, we're going to dive into the truth about Grayson Allen's career, we're going to tell his entire basketball story, and why he has such a bad reputation. But first, I really need your help. So as I said, today we will be talking about Grayson Allen and why he shouldn't be hated that much. But first, college basketball videos don't typically do well, and this is the first one of this style I've done in a long time. So if you like stuff like this, please be sure to show your support by hitting that like button, dropping a comment, giving me another topic I should do next, subscribing if you're new, and just staying until the end will help the video tremendously. I really appreciate it, and I want to help college basketball become more mainstream on YouTube. So thank you in advance. Show your support. Before Allen burst onto the national stage as a freshman when he came off the bench to score 16 points in the title game, let's go back in time and meet Grayson Allen. Allen grew up playing soccer actually, and that actually may have been where his tendency to trip people came from. But everyone who coached him growing up said he was never a dirty player, and he was just an ultra competitor. He grew up in Florida and loved basketball from a young age. He became a starter in middle school, and it was then when his coaches knew he was going to be special. He would go on to develop into a basketball body, become a star in high school, and he was one of the most coveted shooters in the country. He was on one of the better teams in the country as well, as him and Christian Terrell both dominated and gained college interest. Terrell went on to play for Florida Gulf Coast, and Grayson had big plans for himself. He became a borderline 5-star recruit and a player that every school in the country could have used. But where was he going to go? He had only one school in mind, Duke. He said, quote, "All I saw was a great program with a great coach and a great chance to win. That was enough for him, and once he got the offer, he committed." 24/7 Sports listed Grayson as McDonald's All-American, a high 4-star recruit, the number 10 shooting guard, and the 26th best player in the class of 2015. In the back of his mind, even as a blue-chip recruit who was an excellent shooter, he knew going to Duke meant he was going to have a much reduced role. In a hoops era where elite players often crave instant gratification, Allen took a different approach, and he just wanted to win. He joined Tyus Jones, Justice Winslow, and Jahlil Okafor, so he was the freshman that no one talked about. He played less than 5 minutes in 13 of Duke's 37 games that year, and didn't even get on the floor in 4 of them. He averaged 8.9 minutes per game, a total that only rose after a backup guard Rasheed Suleiman was dismissed from the team. But things would change for him as he went to the NCAA tournament. The Devils ended up finishing the year at 35-4 and won a title, but they may not have had that if it wasn't for Allen. After Wisconsin somehow defeated the undefeated Kentucky team, the Devils found themselves down 9 points in the second half. Allen would go on to score 8 straight points and put the team on his back. He would lead the team in scoring, and Duke would barely win, and Grayson showed his potential and became a name. Going into his sophomore year, he was projected to break out, and that's exactly what he did. He was one of the best offensive players in the ACC, as he averaged 21 points per game, and he shot 41% from the three-point line. He played an average of 36.6 minutes per game and made 84% of his free throws. But he would get into some trouble as he tripped Louisville's Ray Spalding. Commentators said the move appeared to be intentional, as Allen stuck out his leg while on the ground as Spalding was trying to hop over him. And his controversy against the Cardinals wouldn't end there, as in their rematch later on, he would get ejected for yelling at a ref. But most people thought it was just a one-time thing. It would happen a few weeks later again, as he would trip Florida State guard Xavier Raton-Mays, and people began to hate this dude. Entering his junior year, Allen was considered one of the top players in college basketball. He was named to the AP All-American preseason team, and he was the ACC media's pick for preseason player of the year. He scored 24 points in a game against Michigan State in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. He had 34 points in a game against UNLV, including a poster dunk. Had 25 points and 3 assists in their win over rival North Carolina. And on the year, he would average 14.5 points and would shoot 37% from 3. His numbers did take a dip, but he was only playing 29.6 minutes per game. But this season would not come without controversy either. Prior to the start of the season, he said he was completely done with the tripping incidents. However, on December 21st, he tripped a player on Elon's team and was charged with a technical foul. The next day, Krzyzewski suspended Allen from the team and stripped him of being a team captain, and I think he finally learned his lesson. As I said earlier, his numbers did drop as he only averaged 14.5 points and 3.5 assists a night. He would never get back to his sophomore year form, as in his senior year he only averaged 15.5 points, but he was one of the best players in college basketball and a legit NBA prospect. For his Duke career, He shot the ball well from everywhere on the court, was super athletic, won a ton of games, and had what a lot of people like to call the killer instinct. In his 4 years at Duke, he finished 12th all-time in scoring, and finished 5th in school history in most made three-pointers. He was a 3-and-D guy who could be a leader, and could make his free throws, and was just an overall solid guy, so he was definitely supposed to get drafted, but where was he going to go? Many big boards had him going anywhere between 20th and 38th, but many people thought he'd go in the 20s. And that was a reality, as in the 2018 draft, he was selected with the 21st overall pick by the Jazz. He looked very promising in the Summer League game, and many people thought he could potentially be a steal, but his role would drop back to reality when the season actually came. He made his NBA debut against the Grizzlies, where he'd score 7 points. He didn't do a whole lot his rookie year. He would record a career-high 40-point game and a 137-143 overtime loss against the Clippers, but that would be one of his last games he played for the Jazz. He would play in 38 games for them, and he would average nearly 6 points a game, but he only shot 32% from deep. He ended up going somewhere else, and he was acquired by the Memphis Grizzlies, where he also played in exactly 38 games before his season came to an end. He was definitely a solid role player who averaged nearly 9 points a game and shot 40% from 3, and he improved that mark by almost 8%, which is just crazy. And I truly think Grayson Allen will be a good NBA player for a long time, and he's always going to find a way to contribute to a team. He may never be a superstar, but I don't think anyone ever thought he would. He's going to compete and play his heart out, which is what we all seemingly forget when we talk about Grayson. So many people hated Allen when he was at Duke, but was it for the right reason? Yes, the trips were terrible, and he got punished for them, but I believe Grayson was just the most competitive player in college basketball. He truly loved the game, would want to win so incredibly badly, and would let his emotions get the best of him. Very people in this world have bad intentions, and I don't believe Grayson Allen was a dirty player or a dirty guy in general. It doesn't help that outside of his own fan base, a lot of people really hate Duke basketball, and he just showed so much resemblance to Christian Laettner. You guys can think what you want about Grayson and say that you hated him, but deep down, we all loved having a guy like him in college basketball because people just love to hate and have stuff to talk about. I played sports as a kid, and there were definitely multiple times where I lost my cool, and I think that's just what happened with him. This is all just my opinion though, and I would absolutely love to know yours. I honestly enjoyed watching Grayson at Duke, and he's one of the most memorable players of the decade for sure. Be sure to let me know what you guys think and how you think his NBA career will end up turning out in the end. Before you go, please give the video a like, subscribe if you're new, and drop a comment and share this. I really need your help to get to 1,000 subscribers, as I will basically be making these videos for free right now, and I want to see how quickly we can get to 1,000. Be sure to check out all my other videos, but until next time, peace.